Instagram asked for a first impressions review of the MBM foundation, and I'm a giver. So here I am, woman of the people. Yes, I bought this myself. It was $42 for the foundation. I only bought 3 things. Claps for me. First impression starts here. Box. Oh! I mean, so sleek, so gorge. It's light in the hand, but it's glass, so it's not going to weigh your kid down. According to Mario's Instagram, it is 30 shades. Buildable, natural finish. According to the ingredient list, this is a water-based foundation. There are coconut hydrogenated fatty acids, coconut alkanes, I believe they're pronounced, relatively high in the ingredient list, which tells me this is probably going to be something that is good for drier skin, which is probably also going to give a little bit of that luminous finish. We have grapeseed, squalene, and sunflower seed oil. So again, we're getting the luminous finish from there. There is some mica in here. I just know it's going to be gorgeous. I got shade 2N. This is the second lightest shade of the entire range. 1C was just a little bit too light, and then 3W was just a little bit too warm. 2N seemed right on the money. I matched it right here, and I think it's just going to be a great match all over the face. Yes. I just want to... I like to match my chest, and ideally this is supposed to blend into oblivion, which it does. In terms of smell, it smells unfragranced, which I really love. There appears to be no fragrance, so that's fabulous. You can see right here how there's just a little bit of glow versus the rest of the skin. Something that is mentioned on the Instagram is that this is not going to oxidize. Here's the deal with oxidation, my loves. Oxidation is truly just a foundation's full dry down process. Once that liquid evaporates and you're left with the pigment on the skin, that pigment is going to appear darker because there is less liquid shearing it out. That is what oxidation is. Your foundation is not changing colors. Your foundation is just becoming the actual color. I know, it blows people's minds, but it's true. Because this is not going to dry down, it's not going to oxidize. Okay? It is going to be luminous and glowy. There are oils and fats and delicious, glowy, luminous things in this, apparently, based on the box. And that is going to prevent it from having a matte finish, therefore no oxidation. Don't be afraid of oxidation. Just buy the correct shade. If you are worried about oxidation, I guess go 1 shade lighter in the same undertone, but do you? I mean, she disappeared, so I'm excited. I'm going to do one side with a sponge, one side with a brush. This is 109 from Makeup Forever, and this is a Beauty Blender sponge. You know the drill. I'm going to do 1 pump on each side, and that is all. Just so we can see, like, what is happening, what is going on. The skin is gorgeously prepped as I would prep it with any other foundation, so I'm not giving it any special treatment. I am not using primer. I'm just using the basic skincare I would use underneath any other foundation. I want to give it a fair shot. So, let's try this out. 1... Ooh! That's a lot. That was a big pump. Load my sponge. Come on, Mario, let's see what you got. I do have some zits that we are going to see what this does. Does it cover them? Does it show them even more? Ooh. Alright, this is 1 pump. The foundation is rather liquidy, so onto a sponge is not my probably preferred method. I would probably use this with a brush versus a sponge, just because I don't know if I need the sponge to be shearing it out even more, but I mean, look at this. The purpose of foundation is to give you an even canvas, not to cover everything. So I don't mind if there's anything showing through, like maybe a tiny bit there for a pimple and maybe a tiny bit there for a pimple, but like that's what concealer is for. So it looks luminous. It looks stunning. I would definitely say with a sponge, it's a light buildable to medium finish for sure. Let's see what it is with a brush. See already. Ginormous set right here. So you better work. Yeah. Okay. So the brush is gorgeous. You are definitely getting more product dispersed with the brush. You are getting more coverage with the brush. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's gorge. Look how much product is still left on my hand. I wonder if he prefers a brush or a sponge. I would be very curious to know. Mario, what do you like? That's gorgeous. It's stunning. This is what one pump looks like. The lighting isn't too bright, so hopefully you can see in detail. I mean, look at the shine. Look at the glow. Look at the glow. You can still see moles through, but like redness around the nose, gone. Some melasma on my cheeks that is taken care of. It feels like the mica in this might reflect light back, which could probably give you a little bit of a more covered look, just by taking the light away from those darker areas. So honestly, I don't feel like I really need much more coverage in the center, but I just want to try it, just to like see. One extra pump for the whole face and just like see how buildable we are. Oh, there we go. Oh. Okay. Oh. This might be one of my best fairer color matches that I have. Surreal, as the name says. Okay, that's gorgeous. The extra layer just sealed the deal for me. Just know this is going to photograph. So gorgeous. I mean, obviously, Mario made it. Yeah, it's such a gorgeous color match, which is really hard. I'm always the lightest or second lightest shade in a foundation, and the undertone is never right. It's always a little too pink or a little too yellow, not enough olive. It's neutral, but it's neutral-ish, you know? I'm just gonna go over with the sponge and just give her a tap, because I normally would anyways. Especially around the nose. Pick up any extra product that doesn't need to be there. Especially around parts of your face that make a lot of expression. For me, that's right here. How do we feel? Are we stunned? Do we love? I think we love, right? I'm curious to see with the mica in it how it wears. Other foundations like the House Labs has mica in it as well. Foundations with mica in it just sometimes can tend to look a little crepey and cakey, especially on more mature skin. This foundation I think is sheer enough to where more mature skin could wear it and not feel like it would settle into stuff. From first glance, it doesn't look like the mica in here, the pearlescent pigment that assists in giving it a little bit more glow, a little bit more shine, doesn't seem to overpronounce things that we don't want pronounced, like mica can tend to do, or glitter, or anything that is reflective. It can draw attention to it, and this doesn't seem to be happening. So on that note, I'm gonna finish the rest of my face, and then we'll come back with my thoughts. Look, I don't want to spoil anything, but stunning. I've had this foundation on for about an hour right now. It's not going to get a full wear test, unfortunately. This does say, though, that it is supposed to be a long wear foundation. We'll try that another time. However, for this first go, I'm very, very pleasantly surprised, I will say. Around areas with high movement, I would really have to see how this wears. I think I might have put a little too much, i.e. I shouldn't have done that like second layer around my mouth. It really didn't need it. Not that anything is settled, but I don't know. I would definitely have to see how it wears around the mouth. I don't think that it's settling by any means, but I definitely can see that there could be the potential of that. But again, I'm not going to wear it long enough to like actually fully see that. So we'll have to do a fuller wear test down the road. That to me is the only call out that I've noticed thus far. There isn't anything that I dislike about this product. I think this foundation is stunning. I only set the center of the face and I kind of kept powder really minimal. So we're really seeing the finish of the foundation really shine through. I mean, I think it has this gorgeous luminous look. It doesn't look dry. It doesn't look cakey. But I do have some dry skin on my nose that needs to be exfoliated. It didn't cling to it. I only know that it's there because I know that it's there, but I cannot tell that it's there. With mica in this product, I would expect maybe for my pores to look somewhat prominent, but it really doesn't look that way at all. I didn't even use a pore filler, and I think it looks really, really stunning. It looks like skin. I think that's the most important takeaway that we should take away from this, is that it looks like skin. It looks like just healthy, dewy, luminous skin. You can still see your skin through it. If you have breakouts, you might need to use a little bit of concealer in those specific areas to spot conceal, or just build up the product if you want. I, however, really love the sheer... My earring just fell out. The sheer nature of the product that is able to be buildable. Because this is such a flexible foundation, I do think that it is going to be something that many people can wear. There are 30 shades, and I do think that those 30 shades would be flexible enough to really fit anyone. I think also that the depth of the colors are consistent throughout. I don't think that any one category has more shade options than the others. My professional opinion, those undertones of those deeper foundations looked stunning. I would love to hear your thoughts about what you think about the shade range, if you think that you have a color that is there for you. I am very impressed with this color. I am very, very impressed. It has the coverage and buildability, in my opinion, of the sheer glow, as well as the luminosity of the light reflecting. I do not know what this is called. I would also compare it to the Make Forever New HD foundation. Similar in terms of coverage. This is much more watery, but this is a similar finish, buildable, and gives you a little bit of the skin-like glow. Kind of reminds me of Light Wonder a little bit. It has a very similar texture. I almost want to say Mario's is moussey, as is the Light Wonder from Charlotte Tilbury. However, this does not wear long, so don't feel like this is going to be like your one and done foundation. I feel like this is something that is going to be so flexible. I think the Janessa Myrick Sammy Skin gets rather close to the Mario in terms of texture, viscosity, finish, coverage. This maybe wouldn't wear the same as this. However, I don't really know how this wears, but I would definitely say in terms of like texture and sheerness, these are quite similar. Born This Way has a similar finish but more coverage. If you shear this out with a little bit of moisturizer, you might get something similar to this. But they're very similar in terms of that look that you get on the skin. I definitely think that they both give that skin-like finish, but this one just has more coverage, whereas this one is a little bit more forgiving and buildable. I also think the Hourglass gives you a similar finish on the skin, way more coverage. I think this foundation is going to be kind of like a little chameleon. It can be whatever you want. If you want it sheer, it can be sheer. If you want it to be buildable, it can be buildable. If you want it to be fuller coverage, it can be fuller coverage. I am interested to see how it looks fully mattified. I'm sure it's gorgeous, but I just really wanted to see the natural look of the foundation. Honestly, all in all, I'm super impressed. Out of 5, because I don't know how it wears, I'm going to give it a 4. I don't know if it settles. I don't know if it's going to wear off throughout the day. I don't know. So it is a tentative 4 out of 5. But I think a 4 out of 5 is a pristine star, fabulous start of a score for a new foundation. I mean, literally nothing went wrong. It looks gorgeous. Nothing pilled. It was evenly distributed and nothing is patchy, and it just looks like skin. So I love it. So, in my humble opinion, if the Mario SurrealSkin foundation at $42 is a go for you, it is an absolute go from me.